y'all. Today we are making eggnog mix. Okay, so the first thing that we're going to do is get everything into our bowl. So the first thing that you're going to need is 2 cups of instant powdered milk. This is the kind I use. Use whatever kind you prefer. This is going to be, which may sound kind of crazy, an eggless eggnog. Okay, we're not using eggs. We're not using egg powder in here. But trust me when I tell you, this stuff is delicious. Okay, it is delicious. So I put my powdered milk through my strainer. I have found that it has lumps like this, kind of bigger pieces in there. And I just like to get everything as powdery as possible, I guess I could say. So I just put it through my little fine mesh strainer, and then I just run a spoon of some sort, my measuring spoon since I had it out, and just kind of press it through there so that it gets the bigger pieces out. So the next thing that you're going to need is 1 cup of powdered sugar. And I say this every time I use powdered sugar. I do make my own powdered sugar. And I will try to remember to link that video for y'all. If you haven't seen it yet and you want to make your own powdered sugar, it's very, very simple. So, and I also, because powdered sugar likes to clump sometimes, I do normally, I will do my powdered sugar through my sifter because it's a lot easier. But since I had this little strainer out, I went ahead and just used it. I mean, I could have used the sifter for the milk too, but I wasn't even thinking that. I was just thinking I'll throw this in the bowl. I'll just throw everything through here and it'll be fine. It does take a little more work to do it the way I'm doing it right here, but as you can see, it's pretty quick and it gets the job done. So if you have a sifter, use that. If not, a fine mesh strainer works perfectly good for stuff like this, or perfectly well. So once we have the bulk of that part done, we're going to need to add some things y'all might think are weird. But trust me, again, on this, okay? We're going to need some instant vanilla pudding mix. We're going to need a total of 1 cup. And I'm using the small boxes, so I'm going to use 2 of the small boxes. They're about a half a cup each. So that's why I'm doing that. But I am putting it in the measuring cup just so y'all can see. But these are the small boxes. I think they are 3.4 ounces, if I'm remembering that correctly. They have like a big family size and then just like the regular size. This is just that small regular size. So we're going to use, like I said, a total of 1 cup of the vanilla instant pudding mix. It needs to be the instant kind. And then we're going to add something that's going to make this even creamier. We are going to add cheesecake pudding mix, instant cheesecake pudding mix. You're going to need 1 packet of that. That's about a half cup. I am going to measure it out for y'all again so you can see. It's not going to taste like cheesecake, I promise you, but this does make it extra thick and creamy. So I definitely would not skip putting this in here. And then the next thing that I'm going to add is some French vanilla coffee creamer powder. And I'm just going to add in 2 tablespoons of that. And then this is going to make it, just give it a little bit of extra flavor and a little bit of extra creaminess also. So then we're going to season it up just a little bit because it's eggnog, right? So we're going to add 1.5 teaspoons of ground nutmeg. And then we are going to add in 1 teaspoon of cinnamon. If you're allergic to cinnamon, you can leave it out. Maybe just add a tiny bit more nutmeg. I mean, adjust the seasonings to whatever taste you have, whatever your taste is. And originally I was only going to do a half teaspoon of cinnamon. So I was like, let me see if I can scoop some of this out. Some of y'all like my mistakes. So sometimes I try to leave them in there for y'all. But I ended up just leaving the whole teaspoon in there. And then I added about 1/4 teaspoon of salt. So then we are just going to mix this up really, really good. A lot of people will put their stuff into a jar and then just shake the jar and call it good. I do not do that. If you've watched me for a while, very rarely will I ever just put everything into a jar and shake it. for a couple of reasons in this particular recipe. For one thing, I do want to make sure everything is completely mixed together because this is not a one-time serving. So we want to make sure that even when we get to the bottom of the jar, we have everything mixed really good. And then another reason is this completely fills up a quart jar. There is no room to shake it. So make sure that you mix it in a bowl, okay? So like I said, quart jar, that's what we're going to use for this. And then once you get all your mix good and mixed up, you're going to put this over into your jar. I do highly suggest a cannon funnel to do this with. You can get these Amazon, Walmart, probably the dollar store. I don't even remember where mine came from, honestly. But it makes you make a little bit less of a mess. I still make a mess, but this definitely helps when you're filling up jars. So it looks like, or you can see here, and it's going to look like it's not going to fit. But trust the process, okay? So what I'm doing, I'm making a mess. That's what I'm going to do, making a mess. If you kind of bounce that jar down, kind of tap it down, you can kind of pack the mix down in there a little bit, and then you can make a little bit more room for what you need. And I just do that a couple of times just to get everything in there because I was just determined that this was going to fit in this jar no matter what. And I'm trying to tap it on this towel so I don't accidentally crack my jar because I do tap it on the countertop a lot. And one of y'all sweet souls said, you might crack your jar. So I'm trying to do better and like tap it on this towel, but this just was not doing it for me. So I do go back and tap it on my countertop. But it's not as hard as it looks. It's making the camera bounce. But I just kind of very gently tap it to get the powder to kind of settle down in there. And then I'm able to add the rest of what is in my jar. And this is going to be good, y'all, for if you store it in a cool, dry place, it is going to be good for about 12 to 18 months. And if you vacuum seal it, about 18 to 24 months. And then if you decide you want to vacuum seal it and throw an oxygen absorber over in there, it'll last you 3 to 5 years. So that is how you store it and how long it's going to last you. Y'all ask me that a lot, and I'm trying to remember to put all that in there. I will have the printable recipe link down in the description box for y'all also. So when you're ready to make this, you're going to pour a cup of milk, and then you're going to add about 4 tablespoons. And I give y'all the bigger amounts in the printable recipe if you want to make larger amounts than just a single serving. So you're going to add about 4 tablespoons to your cup of milk. And then you're going to mix this up. You can put it in a shaker cup and shake it. You can whisk it. I use a frother. These are pretty cheap. You can get them anywhere. I'll try to remember to link mine for y'all down in the description box. But you're just going to make sure you mix this up really, really well. And I'm going to show you the consistency because somebody asked me about that in another recipe I did. You didn't show us what the consistency was. You should have put a spoon in it. So I'm going to do that. When you first mix it, like I just did, it is going to be a little bit thin, but you see it definitely coats the spoon, so it is a thicker consistency. If you let it sit for about 5 minutes, you know how instant pudding is when you first mix it up, it's runny, and then you have to let it sit, kind of thicken up. That's what we need to do for this also. And you can also just like sit it over in the refrigerator and let it thicken up. So this is our eggless eggnog mix that you can stick on your pantry shelf and enjoy anytime you want it. All right, that is all I have for y'all today, and I will catch y'all on the next one. Bye, y'all.